James Jones, private, Illinois Rangers, Captain Shark's Company, born 15 October 1795, passed away 29 August 1865. James was born in Georgia in 1795 to James Jones, born in 1770 and died in 1813, and Mary Whaley, 1771 to 1847. He migrated to the Illinois country, where he married Laura Llewellyn on 23rd September 1823 near Keysport, Clinton County, Illinois. She was born in Kentucky December 1st, 1806. James served with Captain Shark's Rangers. Being a ranger demanded that the man supply his own horse, gunshot, clothing, and food. There was no pay. Many men were on hard times, but they rose to the call. Men were called out when needed and had to leave their family and crops unattended. Governor Ninian Edwards, our territorial governor, repeatedly pledged with Washington to send money to pay the men and requested ammunition, guns, and clothing. His pleas fell on deaf ears, though. The Illinois Territory was being savagely attacked to scare the settlers back across the Ohio. The Indians wanted to keep their lands, and the British were honoring that treaty in exchange for vital waterway from the Great Lakes down the Illinois and Mississippi rivers to the port of New Orleans. The British also had a grand scheme of attacking from the west and east, stopping the flow of goods and dividing the American forces. The Illinois Territory was therefore vital to the British. The attacks became so prevalent that many did retreat to Kentucky. At one time, there were only 2,000 men in all of Illinois, and of them, about 1,500 could serve and defend the territory. James was desperately needed and answered his call. Laura did apply and receive a pension after James passed away. He is listed on the cemetery records as a pioneer preacher with no mention of his service. He is in the index to the War of 1812 pension files and on Captain Shark's company list with the state of Illinois. James and Laura had 12 children: Nancy, Thomas Palmer, James Fountain, Meshach, Marcia, John W., Eli, Elizabeth, Betsy, Joshua C., Laura Ann, Eveline, and Mary Polly. On the 1850 census, James and Laura's children were listed as James Fountain, each 21 at home, Elizabeth at 17, Marcia at 15, John at 13, Eli at 11, Joshua at 7, and Eveline at 5. James Fountain married Elizabeth Arnold, and their children are John Wesley, infant Sarah A, William P., Laura F. William P. Jones married Elizabeth Morris and had the following children: Ray married Ida Sperling. They had an infant, Seymour, and Carl, who are buried here in the Sandy Branch Cemetery. William P. and Elizabeth and her parents, Jesse and Mary Whiteside Moss, are also buried here in Sandy Branch. In 1909, Brinkerhoff's History of Marion County has an anecdote about James when describing Hardy Foster, the founder of the Foster family. He was a unique character and came from Georgia in 1821. When in Marion County, he began to be settled. He came to the wilderness to hunt bears and bees, which was his favorite occupation, with one companion, James Jones. They struck up camp on the Mount Vernon and Vandalia Road, which was but a track through the county, and hunted bears and bees vigorously. Hardy later viewed a farm from the forest and became one of the leading citizens of this area. James purchased 80 acres in Section 9 on 15 February 1837 and 80 acres again in Section 16 on the 5th of July 1837. He again bought 40 acres in Section 8. He received a warrant for 40 acres of ground on September 20th and claimed it all in Section 9. He achieved a great deal with his lifetime and fathered a very large family, many of whom have descendants here today with us. They were all good, productive citizens, and they served their country well. The Sandy Branch Cemetery here holds an unusual amount of soldiers and patriots, as indicated on the memorial dedicated by them right here in the front of the parking lot. We have much to be thankful for their service, their sacrifice, the pioneer toughness, and the strong family values that established this great state and this great nation. James is the oldest soldier buried here in the cemetery, and we are proud to be able to honor him for his service in the Illinois Rangers.